All right, it was a great meeting. We had 8 people in there, 3 of my partners, myself, and then 4 people at the meeting again. Went really, really well. We had prepared a lot of information the first time, as you remember, about B2C. Today was our presentation about B2B. So when we prepared all the information and presented it, it was really, really well received. I guess everyone else who they met with had not changed anything from their previous presentation. They had just presented the same information again. So for us, we wanted to make sure that we prepared something different. Families here, I'll be right back. What we ended up preparing that was different was our B2B presentation, because if you remember, we were talking about how B2C was so great in the first meeting. In the second, we made this whole big presentation about B2B. We have LinkedIn leading, we have Google search as the secondary, Google display remarketing, YouTube remarketing, Facebook remarketing, you know, this whole dynamic strategy of how to build an audience of people that are interested in this specific product, and presented it to them. And what was so interesting is they've had all these different meetings with people, but they kept saying things like, oh wow, I didn't know you could do that, or oh, that's so interesting, I had no idea, things like that. And we're thinking, man, this is like a bake-off. People should be giving you guys all this information. This would be old news by now, but especially because we were the last to present the B2B. So that was really interesting to hear. Obviously, it's very good. A couple of really great questions that, you know, felt like they'd been asked to everybody, but after we got through the whole presentation, just kind of wondering if they had any questions, they really didn't have any questions for us, which was really good too. It meant we did a good job explaining everything we wanted to do. They, you know, had asked the questions that they really wanted to know, and felt like they got good answers. We got some really good smiles out of them, but it was generally a tough group to read. Typically, I'm a lot better understanding, you know, how people are feeling, if they're on the same page with me, if we're gonna, you know, work together. And I just don't have the best feeling on I mean, I have a good feeling on this, I just don't have the best read on the situation with these people. They're a slow-moving group that's making a careful decision, which I really like. And I feel like we have a good rapport and understanding together, but I also think that they're going to weigh their options very seriously and not rush into a decision, which is totally fine. The website's getting finished mid-October, so they're going to launch the B2B probably in January. They're thinking that, you know, that would be a better time to let the year end, let holiday craziness happen, and then start a big B2B push. I don't know if there's tax advantages for end of year for B2B. Maybe it depends on how people's fiscal year is, but that might be one avenue that might make B2B a little bit better for starting soon. But I think what they're really going to do is push B2C during the holidays, try and get some heavy traffic, drive traffic to their local stores, and then at the end of the year start pushing B2B. But we try to explain, you know, you can create lead forms within these platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn, and just capture the information there within platform. You don't have to send people to your website, so we don't necessarily have to stop. You know, you can still get click to call ads and all that. So we'll see what happens. Felt really pleased that we were prepared, and they were telling us that we'd presented things that other people hadn't. We were sharing information they hadn't heard before, and felt like everything they asked us had already been presented. Like, they asked us about email today, and that had already been presented in the last meeting. So just generally really happy with the way that the whole process went. I'm always really happy when I'm very prepared to share information, and we're able to answer all their questions. So that's really good. We should know there's 2 more meetings for them to do to hear the B2C presentations. Actually, one more thing to point out is that the only reason they're taking B2C meetings now, which are happening this week with the 2 other companies we're running against, is because we presented B2C as a real option for them. So it occurs to me that maybe we should actually be the people that they hire to run the B2C, because we recognized the big opportunity ahead of them. But, you know, that's okay. They got to do their due diligence. I get it. Those 2 meetings are happening this week, and then they should be able to make a decision and hopefully hire us end of the week or next week. But I have a feeling that they're a slower moving group, so it's probably going to be end of next week. We'll either get a yes or no. So that'd be really good. But we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you posted if anything develops.